Hey, so I really appreciate you joining me for this video on burnout. There's just too much to share, and I really wanted to give you 5 tools for burnout specifically. Having gone through burnout in 2020 personally and experiencing these like tremendous lows with COVID and everything closing and thinking like, okay, in real estate, I'm not going to be able to still keep providing and still keep working in my career and job. And then from the extreme of the low to then the skyrocketing of the high and everybody wanting to buy a house and being really super busy and having one of the best years of my career ever. So what I personally went through, the challenge, the emotional, physical, and mental stress and instability, chaos that I went through, I want to share with you 5 things that totally changed my life that I started implementing when I really hit that rock bottom point. And I'm sharing this with you because you don't have to hit rock bottom. You can find and acknowledge and ask for support, really acknowledging what you're going through and not going all the way down that trajectory. You can like cut it off and stop to regain some balance so then you can move in the other direction. So remembering that these things all happen for us to grow, for us to learn, for us to heal, whatever it is, change, and we can really look at it a different way. So the top 5 things, here we go. All right, and I got to look at my notes. So number 1 is slow down. Slow down. If you're a realtor like I was, we put a lot of value in our doing. We put a lot of personal value and worth in our doing. And we've probably learned from an early age to really keep going, 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 doing, hustle, grind, all that stuff. But the number one of the top 5 things to do is slow down. You are a human being, not a human doing. So how can you slow down? What can you do to slow down? Put the brakes on, press the pause button and slow down that constant need for movement and doing. Just because you're doing more doesn't mean you're going to accomplish more. And I know that's like a change in mindset from what we've traditionally learned. So number 1, slow down. Number 2, get quiet. Get quiet, meaning quiet the mind and listen to the heart. The heart has tremendous wisdom, whether you want to say heart, soul, whatever. But if you get quiet, you have the knowing and the answers in here. It is always available to you. It is always accessible. Unless we get quiet and we do number 1, right? Slow down. Number 2 is get quiet. Then we can allow ourselves to listen to some of this wisdom that we already internally have. So you can talk to your parents, talk to your friend, talk to a spouse, and get support and get dialogue going about what you're going through. And just remember, it's not a conference call. Your life, your soul, your knowing, it wasn't a conference call with everybody else. So you have internal information and guidance that is just waiting to be connected with, waiting to be developed and further revealed. So number 2, get quiet and quiet the mind and listen to that heart. Number 3 is get clear on what really matters. Getting clear on what really matters. So what does that mean? Well, you're like, well, it's clear I need to make more money, or it's clear I need a better relationship, or it's clear, whatever the case may be. It is clear, but are your priorities in order with what you're trying to change? Oftentimes we've got our priorities kind of wonky and off balance and probably not really in alignment with what we're wanting over here and what we're really prioritizing over here. So prioritizing just money, making money isn't really going to fulfill that goal, but fulfill our life as a whole. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money or have the relationship or find love or whatever it may be, or lose weight. Nothing wrong with that. But oftentimes we need to look at what our priorities are in our day, in our week, in our month, and really take a hard look at that. Get out of denial. Get out of denial of what we think it is, or what we're used to, or what we've been doing, because what we've been doing isn't going to be what's going to help us make a change and shift. We need to take a different look, a different perspective, reorganize those priorities. So what my priorities, as an example, were, is my priorities used to be money, business, family, and then such and such. So you're like, well, Lisa, my priorities are not like that. Well, I challenge you to take a hard look at it. I challenge you to really sit down with that and really, really sit with it, because I said the same thing. I thought the same thing. I'm like, my priority is not money, but all my activities that I was doing was showing that's what my priority is. So are you really tapped into what is your priority? Look at what actions you're taking on a daily basis. Is that in alignment with your priorities? So now, as an example, for me, my priorities are now connection with self and God. And when I say God, you can interchange in there universe, divine, spirit, whatever you want, whatever resonates with you, Buddha. It doesn't have to be that word, but that's for me. Now I have that priority, then my family and my relationship. So it's actually connection with God and connection with self. And then it's self-love, self-fulfillment, in the sense of, what am I doing to fill up my cup first in the day? And then family, my kids, my husband, my dog. Then it's business and action and all this kind of stuff. So it's completely changed from where I used to have money at the very top of my priorities, and now it's lower on that list. That doesn't mean it's gone, because money is good for the good it can do. It just means I'm switching my priorities around the action I'm taking and my activities of the day. Number four is gratitude. Gratitude. We've heard this. We've probably seen it and heard it in classes before, how powerful gratitude is. But taking, even if it's just 2 minutes, everybody's got 2 minutes. So 2 minutes, first thing in the morning, I am so grateful that I woke up this morning. I am so grateful to be breathing again for a new day, a new life, a new experience. And the same thing at the end of the day. I am so grateful for this day, and find one particular thing that was like really kind of stand out. Like, wow, I'm so grateful that I got to the gym. I'm so grateful I got to have dinner with my family. I'm so grateful I got to walk my dog in the sun, and I could feel the sun just pouring down on me, and it felt amazing. You can write it down, but if that's going to hinder you, just start with like mentally saying it and acknowledging it to yourself. Just morning and night, 2 minutes is all it takes. Number 5 is ask for help. So when challenge is increased in our life, we need to match it with support. So again, when challenge is increased in our life, we need to match it with more support. So if you're not feeling very challenged and life is really kind of in that flowing, easy, simplistic mode, well, then you don't need as much support. But when you are faced with more challenge, more fear, more pain, or whatever that is coming up, you need to match that with support. And support can look like many different things. It can mean spending more time with family, having more dialogue with a spouse around what's going on in your life and how you are feeling, because again, they do not know exactly what you're going through and how you're feeling. You have to communicate. So communicating with family, spouse, spending more time with the kids or the dog, or getting to the gym more, whatever it is to match that challenge with support. And when I said gym, that's because it can like physically just feel so supportive to like release some of that energy, stress, and all that kind of stuff. You may need to go on a retreat, get away for like a meditation retreat or some kind of hobby that you love. Bring in something that is enjoyable to you. Is that like you love to go fishing, you love to go golfing? Add some more of that stuff that naturally brings you joy and comes to you like that. You don't have to think about it a lot. It's like top of mind. That's something that really brings me joy. For me, that's events. I love attending events. I love going to healing events, meditation events, conferences, like all this kind of stuff that's expansive. But that's me. That may not be for you. So think about that of like, what can I do to ask for help? And with that, like coupling it with where do I naturally get a lot of joy from? So maybe you do need to find alternative support of like a course or a coach or, whatever it is, inside, where you're being guided and where you're being directed. And if you do some of these other steps, it's going to become more clear and you're going to tap into more of your own wisdom by listening to yourself. So those are the top 5 things to transition and move through burnout. And I promise you, if you do some of these things every single day, it will help you get to the next step. Remembering this is just a season that you're going through. And like any season of weather, does it last forever? No, it changes. So winter does not last forever. You're in that for a season, and then you're moving through it to spring. So just remember, wherever you're at, it's temporary, and there's always change that's inevitable. Thank you so much for listening. I would love to hear from you. If you have any feedback, questions, or comments, or want to know more about a particular part of that, you can email me at lisa@livethesagelife.com or find me on Facebook and Instagram and shoot me a DM. All right. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.